Six dudes and a six-pack. We may not be winners, but at least none of us plays the bass guitar.
What we got tonight, Rhino?
I don't know. Just kidding, man. We'll figure something out here right shortly. You know, I was thinking about this earlier. Somebody was asking me about where I stand on some of these issues, like the kneeling at the national anthem and things like that. They're like, well, how do you feel as a military member? I'm like, I will never answer that question as a military member because I don't represent the opinion of all of my fellow airmen or, all the people that serve in the United States military. But I mean, personally, I'm just saddened that people ever thought that that kind of an extreme was necessary in order to get people's attention. I mean, that sucks that we have a problem that's gotten so far out of hand in what's supposed to be this great nation of ours that somebody was like, this is the only way I can get anybody's attention is to use this platform. But to me, that national anthem is roughly, give or take, about 90 seconds long. That's 90 seconds that I and everybody else have to reflect on what it means to us personally to be an American. And yet, a lot of those same mothers now are out there on social media bagging on other people that they don't agree with their opinions. I'm just like, hold on a second.
Reason our government, our shit is going a little crazy here. Yeah. And I kind of want to stop talking.
I want to come back to
I
that.
don't want to get no drone to be dropping bombs on me here anytime soon.
Yeah, I want to come back to that, what we're fed thing. So put a pin in that for a second because I definitely want to circle back around to that.
No, we just drop bombs on people.
Right. I mean, we just found more creative or quicker or whatever ways to kill people.
Right across the damn street, and I'll drop a bomb on you from a drone that I flew from over here in fucking America.
Bunga.
Yeah.
Remember that old gag?
Bunga bunga. Die by bunga bunga, and that'd be a great day. Bunga bunga with a bit of big.
Yeah, the old joke where the two guys get lost in the jungle or something and they get captured by some tribe, and they say, we're going to give you a choice, either bunga bunga or death. And the guy's like, oh, death sounds terrible. I don't want to die. Just do bunga bunga on me, whatever the hell that is. So like every dude in the village gets a turn at him.
And then they're like, bunga bunga means like you're going to make kids for the rest of our generations. Can you get it up?
Yeah, and the second dude's like, well, to hell with that. I don't want the whole village going to town on me or anything. So he's like, just kill me. And he's like, okay, I sentence you to death by bunga bunga. that's a sick ass joke.
I think that's a new shot. Bunga bunga.
We already went
rather get
really
bunga
long way
than
off.
just. No, we're way down the interstate. Like GPS is not bringing us back.
It's searching for a signal.
At this point.
It's like, they told us to make a U-turn like 14 times. I was like, please stop talking about this subject. You are idiots.
Turn around. Turn around. No.
Now the GPS is like, oh, fuck it, you're off a cliff. Yep, we went and lost Trey. It looks like it's still recording, so we might be okay there. But you're absolutely right, man. We're all hypocrites, and if we just understand and recognize our own hypocrisy, then I'm not saying the world would be a better place, but at least we'd get to figure it out a little bit.
But it'll make things a little easier. Like if you are like, all right, yeah, I'm a moron sometimes. Yeah, why do I say this? Why do I say that? But come together at the same damn time, and it's kind of simple.
Yeah.
When you look at it like that.
I get people all the time tell me that, like, man, you have these really high standards. It's impossible to live up to it. I can't imagine that you're very happy with people most of the time. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm way harder on myself. You think that I'm rough on the people around me or something, man. I am constantly calling myself a dumbass or an idiot or whatever, and really, really striving to do better.
How can you call somebody a dumbass if you don't call yourself a dumbass
That's
first?
what I'm saying. Like, you wouldn't even have a frame of reference. first of all, I need you to understand, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. You wouldn't even be getting chewed out if I didn't know you were capable of better, right? Like if I knew you were an idiot and you couldn't do better than this, I'd just let it be, right? Like there's no point in correcting you if you're stupid. Yeah, but you're not.
No, that's actually like one of the best things I've ever heard in my life. There's no reason to help you if you're a moron.
Right.
Like if you're not going to
get
it,
to be said.
You're not going to.
Then it's not even your fault.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's not your fault. It just is what it is.
Yeah,
and I hate that.
capable.
I hate saying it is what it is. You're just stuck in limbo, and I ain't going to limbo to pull you out.
Or say we have vehicle operators and carpenters and those kind of folks that work for me out of the, with the military, right? So some of these vehicle operators, they're not all created equally, right? Not out of the chute anyway. So some of them are just more naturally gifted. Some of them may have had some skills that they were brought up with. But you think about when you first joined the military, hell man, I had never fired a real gun in my life. I got on a plane to basic training a week after I turned 18. I had a pellet gun was the closest thing I ever had to a real weapon.
Your shoulder?
No, nothing happened because we had amazing instructors in basic training and tech school and every place else. I guess we didn't fire in tech school, but basic training and my active duty instructors and all that, those guys were amazing and phenomenal people who really knew how to teach stuff. So just by following their fundamentals, we had 50 shots, right? And I scored one shot from expert, or 2 shots from expert in basic training, 1 shot the first time in active duty, and the third time I ever fired a weapon in my life, I fired expert because of the fundamentals
so you're
that
like,
taught me.
45 out of 50?
Somewhere around in there, yeah. 43, 45 shots out of 50 is expert. And you're not shooting at the same target the whole time, obviously. But the point is, these people taught you the fundamentals. They taught you the cheek roll over it, and they taught you all the different, the prone position and everything else. They taught you how to breathe, how to squeeze the trigger, all that good stuff. And some of that has changed over the last 31 years.
Now, well, I don't know how it's changed as far as those things are, but at the same time, they should be the same thing.
Well, what they used to teach, one of the things I know for sure that's different is they used to teach you to fire with the pad of your finger, right? Put the pad of your finger on there. Don't hook the trigger with your knuckle.
It's like you put the tip.
Right. Tip, the pad, whatever it might be. You don't want to...
Usually you keep it open, and then when you pull, you tap.
Sure. Yeah, they still teach you to squeeze. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying
grab
the actual
the whole
finger
thing.
position. Yeah, the finger position that they teach you now is whatever the hell is comfortable. You're still going to squeeze the trigger, so it makes no difference if you're using the crease or the pad or the very fingertip or halfway down your finger. If you're missing half a finger, it makes no difference. Just don't jerk the friggin' trigger. That's still as fundamental that they teach you. But the point is, if you have the right teacher, you can learn almost anything, at least to the best of your ability. That doesn't mean you're going to be a superstar right out the gate. So at the end of the day, we just got to understand that we don't all evolve at the same pace, right? And I was thinking of this today too. What has to take place in order for evolution? And what's the big thing that we love in America is redemption, right? A story of redemption. Well, in order to be redeemed, what has to happen first?
It's like second chances.
Right? Second chances. But in order to get a second chance, what do you have to do?
And worst things you ever done in your life?
No,
you
what
make
I'm saying
it
is
something that you've done something decent, and then you can just be better than the first thing.
All right, if you were born
there's two
as
different
good as you could ever
there.
possibly be, right? If you were born as good as you could ever possibly be, there'd be no point in evolution because it wouldn't be a thing, right?
You would never need a second chance.
Right. If you never screw up, there has to be a mistake. That's my point. There has to be a mistake in order for there to be redemption. But today, in
Yes.
our cancel culture, our knee-jerk reaction to everything is to cancel people and everything they ever stood for and make sure that they never get a chance to work again, or they don't even get to come up for air. We just drown them in our cancellation policies, right? Screw you, you're a piece of shit human being, you made a mistake, and we'll never forgive you no matter what you do. That's the way we treat people in America now, not you now have a chance to redeem yourself.
Well, see, I think that our problem as Americans is that we expect certain things, and the stuff that we expect may not ever always be what we want, and that makes it a whole different level. 'Cause we're not good. We're not getting what we expect. We're not seeing anything that even matters to us, to the simple fact, and then we actually like to see failure, and we want to. We like failure. I'll leave it at that. We like failure.
Well, to your point, PG, I think that the whole world has been there for a very, very long time. You think about it, man. The whole world hates America. Why? American arrogance, American privilege, American everything. You know, they're jealous of everything that has to do with America. And yeah, we're kind of obnoxious when we travel overseas, you know. So, you know, like, why are you guys speaking Mexican? I'm in Spain, you should speak American, or some crap. You know, they're just, we're just idiots when we travel abroad. I'll give them that.
When I leave the country, and they're like, they look at me, they're like, "You're not American." I'm like, "I'm pretty sure I am. I was born in a hospital in America." Like, I don't know what else to tell you. They're like, "No, you're not. You've been lied to. You're not American." And I'm like, "I'm pretty sure I am." And you know, like, that's the thing though. Like it's the individual Americans, and there's Americans out there that make it bad for all of us, just like there's black people that make it bad for all black people. There's white people that make it bad for all white people. Like, it's just a revolving door when it comes to that kind of stuff, and then we as just individuals get stuck on that kind of shit, and we shouldn't. We should just be like, yeah, somebody's going to be stupid at some point in their time, regardless of what they look like. There's stupid people all over the place.
I will never forgive you.
Yeah.
And
But
we're
there are times where
fortunate.
somebody's like wearing the same hat of a team that I love or something like that, and I'm like, man, why you got to be robbing a liquor store in a damn Cleveland Indians hat, you know, or whatever. It's like, now I'm going to be lumped in with this dickhead in life.
Cincinnati Reds hat.
Yeah, but we keep wanting to kick each other down based on the group that we're associated with, somebody from that group doing something stupid. And the messed up thing is we become fans of everything in society now, right? Like, we're just rooting for laundry when it comes to our professional
It's
teams.
like right
and the
there.
college teams are the
It's
same
right
now,
next
too.
to us. It's like right there for us. Like, it's
Yeah,
our society, the social media, everything that works the way the machine is right there in front of us, and it's so difficult not to pay attention to it. And then we pay attention to it and we react to it, and then sometimes we end up looking like fools. Sometimes we don't. But for the majority of anybody out there that does blow into that damn social media faction, we're fucking lost.
yeah. There's no doubt in my mind that white privilege is a thing. I get it. I never have feared for my life ever. Maybe once or twice, being pulled over in a routine traffic stop. The only times I've
Half
ever
of me
feared
is
for my
good,
life is when
the
I was
other
doing
half
something
ain't.
really, really dumb, right? I'm
Yes,
like, all right,
you're
this guy
pretty-
might actually draw down on me because I was being a dumbass behind the wheel. I could
Yes.
get that, but it wouldn't have been a racial thing. It was just because I was driving
It
like
was
an
just
asshole.
that's just the way you would think
Right.
the law would work.
Right. So the
And
point is,
it's
I
hard-
knew what I had coming to me, and I was like, all right, dude's going to draw down on me, or whatever. I got to be really cool about this one. Hands out the window, whatever. But
yeah,
it's never
however
been.
it works out, I know for a fact that I won't get shot because I will comply.
Right, right, right. But at the same
Like,
time, I understand that there's a privilege thing. I don't even want to talk about that for the time being, because what the system is geared to do is to beat certain people down, maybe because of race or systematically because of whatever it is that they want to keep us arguing about. But we too often, as common people,
there
make
you
the
go.
argument
The
about
arguing
race,
about.
right? You and I, they want to keep you and I arguing about race
We're supposed to
instead of,
be. You're over here. I'm over there,
yeah.
and
But
then we're not supposed to be here.
But the real division is financial. It has nothing to do with race. If you go out to most places, most of your middle class suburbs or whatever, it makes no difference to those people who their neighbors are. Most of those people, right? They can live next to people from India or Pakistan or
As long as
blacks
you mow
or
your
whites or
grass,
Mexicans.
we're
Everybody else,
good.
yeah. As long as everybody mows their grass and their fences within regulations and their garbage cans aren't exposed or whatever the hell it is their stupid HOA says has to be done or whatever, then they
You
all
don't
get
piss in their
along.
yard. You just piss in your own
Right,
yard. You be
right.
good.
It makes no difference to those people where their neighbors are from, what color they are, or any of that stuff. They all hang out, go to barbecues, or ignore each other depending on the culture of the neighborhood itself, right? But the point is,
Yeah.
we don't give a shit. And yet the media and the world
The
at large,
media.
the government would love us to believe that it's all racially motivated and that I hate you and you hate me and our people don't need each other in order to get along. We need to stick with our tribe and all that good shit, right? But it's all a sham and it's a distraction to keep our eye off of what's really going on, and that is the continued financial division of our country. All right, so that dickheads like you and
There.
me,
Yeah.
we can't buy into an IPO. I can't take $15,000 of my own money and do anything in an initial offering for stock. All right, because there are people out there. The system is
Because you're
set up to
getting
where
blocked.
only select groups are allowed to participate with this. Right? The original marijuana bill that was on the table in Ohio, I voted it down. I could
Like,
give a
so
rat's ass people smoking it.
Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah.
Do you know who he is?
No, I don't.
All right. Like, he's a dude who like invested in like, all you're talking about, and like he, it's like you could do this, you could do that, but when you put what you say together with what he says, that shit don't mix.
No.
He's like he's one he was going to invest in what are the card shits? There's
Like
Lyft and there's
Square?
Uber. All right, so he
Oh,
didn't invest in
car.
Uber.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, so he didn't invest in Uber, and but he's like, well, I missed out on that one, but like we can invest in this. Or can't invest in anything, and he's full of effing shit. Like,
Hmm.
sorry, I'm just saying that's that took me to him being full of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it comes down to, man. You know that Congress is wasting our money, and there is some systematic racism going on out there in the world. But if nothing else, I'd say it's almost done on purpose to keep us distracted from the real problem, which is the financial division and the fact that it is increasingly difficult for lower class to become anything but that. We've created a generational,
Yeah,
systematic.
socialism.
Well, one generation after another
Should
ends
be a
up on
socialism.
government assistance of some sort, right? And they've taught one another the tricks of the trade. This is how you get government assistance. This is how you maximize government assistance, etc. So we often have this argument
Dude,
about.
I work for a damn insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
I work for the most wealthy company in the world,
Right.
and we deal with insurance like Medicare, Medicaid, and like so much, just whatever you want to call it. Like, it just blows my mind. But then there's people that actually deserve it and they need it, but there's people that take advantage of it and it kills those benefits and those opportunities for the ones that actually need it.
Yeah, we end up with exhausted funds, and that's a shame. But the problem is that we've collectively, we the people, the government that we've hired, has trained these people how to continue on with assistance from one generation to the next. It's really not the people's fault that's on it now. Look, I grew up with, humble beginnings, and very poor family and all that good stuff. I shared a room with my two sisters. We had a house that you could walk through every room in the house without opening a door. It was aside from the bathroom, thankfully, but it was a very humble beginning, man. But I've been able to just work and claw my way to some semblance of middle classdom here, and finally have a little piece of property to call my own and work on and enjoy. There's a lot of sweat that I've poured out on this property, and people will look at what I've got now, especially people that don't know where I came from, and think that this is the kind of stuff that white people just hand down to one another, and that infuriates me probably more than most things, because there is absolutely nothing that's been handed to me in this life. However, I will say that you don't get places on your own. People open doors for you. People help you out along the way. But nobody does it but you.
Nobody looks at your color. Nobody looks at your color. Like I'm mixed. So half of me's white, other half's black. The only ones that I've seen succeed, regardless if they're white on my side of the family or black on the side of the family, are people who bust their ass. The people who had motivation. The people who went to get what they needed and what they wanted. And they didn't give any excuses about anything or anybody. And that's the sad part about our world is like you said, no, just my dad's black, my mom's white. They do great shit. And they didn't ask for nothing. They got it. They worked for it. They put in the effort. They did what they needed to do to get what they wanted to get.
Do you remember a time where your parents ever looked at people that had more than what they did and they were like, those sons of bitches, they should have to give some of their wealth to me?
Never. Never.
That is the most ridiculous
my parents
thing
would be
I've ever
like,
heard.
they've got some cool ass shit. Do you want it? Then bust your ass to get it.
Right. Aspire to be that people, right? Aspire to be that person.
Don't hate. Just aspire.
Right.
Just if you don't want it, then shut the fuck up and go sit in the corner. If you want it, then shut the fuck up and make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. I never look at people and think, oh, it must be nice to have that kind of money to burn or whatever. Or that guy's got this great yacht. Wish I had a yacht. Wish that guy would have to give me a yacht. It doesn't work that way.
I've looked at him and been like, I wish I had that yacht, but I never wished he would give me the yacht.
Right.
I'd walk up to him and be like, how'd you get that yacht?
Remember when all that Joe the plumber nonsense was going on during the first time Obama ran for office? That Joe the plumber stuff. If you make more than $250,000 a year, you're gonna have to cough up more tax dollars or something like that, right? Well, you know what happened? You know what the thing with Joe or Jane the plumber? You know what they did that other people didn't do? They refrained from
start an LLC.
Right, they refrained from knocking somebody up in high school, or maybe they did knock somebody up in high school, and they spent time away from that kid and that spouse or whomever, right? They sacrificed time away from the things that they enjoyed, their families, everything in the world in order to go out there and fight and claw their way to making $250,000 a year. That's what they did.
Come on!
All right, very few of these people have been handed money generation after generation, especially the ones that are only making $250,000 a year. When you think about rich people, you need to think about the blue bloods that live on the East Coast, right? That's generational. Not the people that just make $250,000 a year, man, because by the time their grandkids grow up and inherit those businesses, they run them out or they sell them or whatever. They're useless, right? So you don't have to worry about that.
The grandkids are like, they ain't cleaning shit.
Right. So stop picking on the people that are barely eking by, that barely got into six figures. That stuff is just ridiculous, man. Worry about yourself, get there yourself, work for it, and if you ain't willing to work for it, you don't deserve it anyway. So enjoy your paper hat and name tag job and call it a life, man.
Hey, welcome to McDonald's.
All right.
And I'll say this: we have to do the best we can do because ain't nobody handing us shit.
No. And look, and I'm not hating on anybody that has less or any of that stuff. I'm just saying, how can I help? Who can I refer you to that will help you out with, I don't care if it's work or education or whatever it might be. I'll help you get to where you need to be. I'm gonna close with this. There's long been this back and forth argument, and it seems like everybody's divided one or the other. Do we give a person a fish or do we teach a person to fish? And the answer is not one or the other.
Supposed to teach the person to fish.
But the answer is both.
Depends on the person.
A starving person can't pay attention to your directions on how to fish, right? So you meet the immediate need with a fish, and then you get out an extra pole and you say, now here's how you do it, buddy. All right, let's wrap her up.
6 dudes and a 6-pack. This is what happens when a monster truck rally meets a television evangelist. Whatever the hell that means. 6 dudes and a 6-pack. Exploding all up inside your ear holes. And you thought earwax was gross.